Oh boy, here we go again. Folks, welcome to the channel, and again, getting rid of that mental fog, the fantasy of what you hope or what you wish was versus what actually is. And really, here you have the perfect example as of how people assume things that simply are not so. The story goes this way. Arnold Schwarzenegger was arrested, actually detained in Germany, I believe, when entering with a watch that he wanted to auction for climate change. But the story is like, oh man, he was arrested because he went into the EU with a luxury item. How much tyranny do you have in that evil EU? An unregistered luxury item, Jesus says, run from. And it's not just the basement dwellers of AR-15. This is something that you see repeated by mainstream media. In the case of the United States, that would be Fox News. They have this one here, Schwarzenegger, screw your freedom, right? Well, actually, that's what he said. But this is something that's going to be repeated as, and I think the Daily Mail had something, the Daily Mail, fuck, of all places, UK really talking about freedom. The thing is, freedom is kind of complicated in terms of exactly what you mean by freedom. Do you mean like drinking age? Well, man, you have less freedom regarding that in the United States than in Europe. What about owning firearms? Well, it really depends. At what age? You can actually own a firearm at a younger age in many European countries than in the United States. And if it comes down to what freedom as a broader context is in terms of how large your government is, how intrusive it is, how much people you have imprisoned, how long sentences they have, all of those things probably are not what you think they are. But this is a perfect example of assuming things that simply are not that way. Jesus Christ, unregistered luxury item yet again. What a bunch of tyrannical bullshit, says Magnum 99. Well, is it really a bunch of bullshit? Now, specifically regarding this, it's simply not true. You have more freedom in Europe than in the United States because it's quite clear. If you look at the customs regulations that you have, this is from Europe.eu. You can bring into the European Union or leave any amount of money that you want, or equivalent. By that I mean cash in other denominations, or monetary value items such as a bar of gold. Oh, I just don't have anything. I just have this bar of gold. Well, it's worth $200,000. So yeah, it does apply to your $10,000. Again, you can bring in or leave with any amount of money that you want, but you have to declare it. You have to declare it as long as it's more than 10,000 euros, right? Again, banknotes, coins, bearer negotiable instruments, right? So gold coins, art, $100,000 watch. I mean, my pro trick would not go into that, but for fuck's sake, Arnold's watch would. So that's why he was asked to, and there's even stupid shit like he was arrested for something he was planning on doing. No, this is like you going into the United States with a kilo of coke from Colombia. It's not that you're planning on doing it, you're actually going into the country with contraband. So it's not like we're thinking of doing something. If you are going into the country with more than you're allowed to do without declaring it, then that goes against those regulations. And it's not the evil EU that has weird regulations. They went from the United States. It's kind of the same. This is from U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And the limit in this case is $10,000, which is, of course, less than 10,000 euros. So already you're looking at, you can go into the United States or EU with any amount of money as long as you declare it. The thing is, you have to declare it if it's more than 10,000 euros, or in the case of the United States, you have to declare it if it's more than $10,000. Now, the big difference is that in the United States, this is for family group. The collective group that is carrying this amount of money. Members of the same members are collectively carrying currency on monetary instruments in a combined amount of over $10,000 on their custom declaration. You have to declare it, right? Members of a family residing in one household entering the United States that submit a joint family declaration must declare if the members are collectively carrying or a currency or monetary instrument in a combined amount of over $10,000. So, if a family of 4 is entering or leaving the United States and that family of 4 combined has more than $10,000, you have to declare it. In the case of the tyrannical European Union, it's per person, per individual. Doesn't matter if you're 1 year old, if it's a baby, it still amounts as a person, and that person can have the equivalent of $10,000 without declaring. Meaning, if a family of 4, including a 1 year old baby, they go into the European Union or leave with 40,000 euros, they don't have to declare it. While in the United States, past $10,000, you have to declare it. So you see how it's actually the opposite. In this specific case that is, bunching up the panties of a bunch of neckbeards in AR15.com, it is the opposite of what they think. You have more freedom in the European Union regarding this thing. You have more tyrannical agenda government regarding how much you can enter or leave. Freedom. Well, you have less of it in the country that you thought you had more of it. And that's what you have to be careful about. That's what you have to be wary about. The idea that you enjoy more freedom than you actually do. I know for a fact which governments are bigger. I know for a fact which governments are more intrusive. And I know for a fact which ones are more tyrannical. And it's probably not what most people think. Guys, wake up. Don't let them guide you like a fucking sheep into the slaughterhouse, because this is not really getting better anywhere in the world. But for this sort of thing, you want to make your own conclusions, get your own information, and just don't assume things that are probably not correct. See you in the next video.